So yesterday we started with the new topic wave propagation in conducting medium, right? So what we saw there that if I take the point form of Ohm's law for a pure dielectric, what is it? It is given as j omega epsilon 0 epsilon r E vector, right? So we have solved numericals based on this. But if I have a conducting medium, what happens? The epsilon r gets replaced by what? It gets replaced by epsilon. This is epsilon. It gets replaced by epsilon rc. And how is epsilon rc given as? It is given as epsilon r minus j sigma upon omega epsilon 0, right? So if you observe, this is complex, right? Means what you have to do while solving numericals, just if sigma is given, so if sigma is given, it indicates that there is some conductivity, so you have to take into consideration that, right? So if sigma is 0, this epsilon rc is nothing but epsilon r, right? So it boils down to our original numericals, right? So what is happening in a conducting medium? Epsilon r is just getting replaced by epsilon rc. So that's what we saw yesterday, right? But because of this, what happens? The medium might become a good conductor or a bad conductor. That is, it can be a conductor or dielectric depending on the frequency, right? So if sigma upon omega epsilon 0 epsilon r is very much greater than 1, what we say, it is a conductor. And if it is very much less than 1, it is what? A dielectric, right? And what is this term called as? This we saw yesterday, it is called as loss tangent, denoted by tan delta, right? And what is delta? It is skin depth. So how was it defined? It is defined as the depth at which the electromagnetic wave amplitude reduces to 1 by E, which amounts to 37% of its initial value, right? Means we saw in boundary conditions that electromagnetic wave cannot penetrate through a conductor, but actually they can penetrate by a very small amount, and that small amount is usually in the range of micrometers, right? So that is what is the concept of skin depth. Then apart from this, we saw the expression for threshold frequency. What was it? We equated these two were made equal. So, and we found it as sigma upon 2 pi epsilon 0 epsilon r. So what does this frequency tell? When a medium, this is the frequency at which the medium changes from a dielectric to conductor, or vice versa, right? So this is called as threshold frequency, right? And finally we saw the expression for skin depth. I said it is very important from exam point of view. Along with its definition, it is 1 upon square root of pi f mu sigma, right? Remember, epsilon r is not there, or epsilon is not there. Usually we see mu with epsilon, but it is not here in this case, okay? So this is what we saw yesterday. So a very small topic was remaining with conjunction to this. So let's see that it is phase velocity of a wave. So it is denoted by Vp. Okay. So what is the expression for phase velocity? That we'll see in this topic. Okay. So it is a very simple expression. It is given as omega by beta. Okay. So obviously if it is omega by beta, what we should get the unit as meters per second, right? So what is the unit of omega? It is radians per second. And what is the unit of beta? It is radians per meter. So radians will get cancelled. So what will get finally? Meters per second. So that is the expression for Vp, which is omega by beta. So this is a very important expression. So now in the last lecture we saw that we were talking about mediums, dielectric and conductor and so on, right? So let's see the same cases again. So let's say the first case is free space, right? Or pure dielectric we can see, which is free space. So what will be Vp? It is omega upon beta. Beta is what for free space? It is omega root mu epsilon, right? So therefore Vp is what? 1 upon root mu epsilon. But we know mu equal to mu 0, epsilon equal to epsilon 0 for free space, because epsilon r and mu r is 1. So therefore Vp is 1 upon square root of mu 0 epsilon 0. So if you calculate this, what will you get? So mu 0 and epsilon 0 are standard constants, right? So let me substitute them here. So it is 1 upon square root of mu 0. What is mu 0? 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 into epsilon 0, 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12, right? So what value you get? 299.86 into 10 raised to 9. Sorry, 10 raised to 6. So approximately 300 into 10 raised to 6. So what is VP you are getting? So VP is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second. So have you seen this expression somewhere? Or rather this number somewhere? This is what 3 into 10 raised to 8 per second. Now you must be knowing it is what? Speed of light, right? So what have I proved here indirectly? So how we started the course with, we started with Coulomb's law and etc. and then we arrived at Maxwell's equations, right? So from Maxwell's equation we got wave equation. So for wave equation we proved that it is an electromagnetic wave and it travels, right? So that is why it is called as wave equation. So whatever signal frequency we are applying, that is at very high frequencies, it travels in the form of wave, and that wave is called as electromagnetic wave, right? Then after wave equation we went to solution of wave equation. What we saw there, that E is always perpendicular to H, and the plane at which they are perpendicular, the wave travels perpendicular to that direction. So that type of wave is called as TEM wave, right? So transverse electromagnetic wave it is called as, right? So this we got from Maxwell's equations, right? Next, from where we have got this beta is omega root mu epsilon, indirectly from Maxwell's equations, right? So this is the consequence of Maxwell's equations only that we are getting, right? And these are, we are again talking about a wave, right? Means what we have proved, that TEM wave travels at this speed, and this speed is nothing but speed of light. So indirectly what I can say, that light itself is an electromagnetic wave, right? So I have proved the third and fourth point together now. So significance of Maxwell's equations. I had told at the start that I'll prove these 4 points one by one in the due course of the lectures. So first point is proved, E is perpendicular to H, or there is interdependence, which we saw from Maxwell's equations itself. Then we said there is existence of electromagnetic wave. From where we got this from wave equation, right? Now what I have proved, that the electromagnetic wave has a finite speed of propagation. So there is a finite speed of propagation of electromagnetic wave. This also I have proved. And free space propagation. So I have assumed free space, and I have proved that free space, the speed is what? 3 into 10 raised to 8 per meter square. Meters per second, sorry. So speed is at the propagation of speed of light. So I have proved this also, right? So that is what we see in this topic. So this is a very important consequence, right? So this was done by Maxwell. So that is a very huge contribution for Maxwell. But the irony is that very less people know Maxwell. If you go to market and ask, do you know James Clerk Maxwell? They'll say, most of the people will say no. But if you ask Isaac Newton or something, they'll say yes, we know him. Right? Don't have any reservations for them, but I'm just saying the fact. So let's say I take case 2, which is pure dielectric, right? So if this is a pure dielectric, means epsilon r and mu r are not one, right? So again Vp is what? Omega by beta, right? So therefore Vp is again omega upon, since it is a dielectric, again I can use omega is root mu epsilon. So mu 0 mu r, epsilon 0 epsilon r. So what I get, therefore Vp is omega gets cancelled, and I'll get 1 upon root mu 0 epsilon 0. We just now proved it is 3 into 10 raised to 8. So it has a standard notation of C. So it is C upon root epsilon r. Okay. Assuming mu r equal to 1. As I said yesterday, usually we have non-magnetic mediums. So that is why we get for pure dielectric Vp is C upon root epsilon r. Right? So it is traveling at less than speed of a light. Means in a pure dielectric, phase velocity travels less than speed of light. That is what we have proved. Now, just a side note, what is the refractive index defined as n? It is denoted by n. It is velocity of in vacuum and velocity of the wave in the medium, right? So this is how refractive index is defined: ratio of velocity in vacuum to the velocity in medium, right? So C is what? Velocity in vacuum, right? So if I take this Vp here, so it is what? C by Vp. So velocity in vacuum upon Vp is what? Velocity in dielectric. So dielectric is a medium. So Vc upon Vp is what? Root epsilon r. Is what we have proved. Refractive index is nothing but square root of dielectric constant. So permittivity is also called as dielectric constant. Okay. So this is what we get the second thing from this. So again we have a numericals based on this. Okay. So let's go to the numericals. Okay, so I forgot to note them down. So I'll just dictate them. So, and I'll write what are the quantities given. So 3 megahertz wave is propagating through fresh water. So what is the frequency? Given 300 megahertz. So a 300 megahertz wave is propagating through fresh water, assuming a lossless medium, mu r equal to 1 and epsilon r1 equal to 78. So mu r is 1, epsilon r equal to 78. This is given. Find the phase constant, means what we have to find? Beta. Velocity of propagation, so it is assumed as phase velocity, Vp. Wavelength, so we have to find wavelength, lambda. And intrinsic impedance, so eta. This is what we have to find if E naught equal to 0.1 volts per meter. Also find Ex and Hy. So this is what we have to find. Okay. So how will we solve this? Just think over it. So if you have just concentrated on the lectures, you will find it is very simple. What they have said, again I'll repeat the question. A 300 megahertz wave is propagating through fresh water, assuming a lossless medium, and mu r equal to 1 and epsilon r equal to 78. Find the phase constant, velocity of propagation, wavelength, and intrinsic impedance if E naught equal to and intrinsic impedance. If E naught equal to 0.1 volts per meter, find Ex and Hy. Right? So fresh water is what? A dielectric, right? So since it is a dielectric, I know beta is what? Omega root mu epsilon, right? So this is for dielectric. Sigma is not given, so I don't have to use those alpha beta complicated formulas or the complicated gamma formulas, right? So since it is dielectric, beta is omega root mu epsilon, right? So beta equal, so we'll require omega. So omega is what? 2 pi f, right? So frequency is 300 megahertz. So 2 pi into 300 into 10 raised to 6. So it is, so therefore omega equal to 1.885, I'll make it, giga radians per second, right? So then I can find now beta. So beta is omega root mu 0 mu r epsilon 0 epsilon r, right? So what we can do? So omega, I already have omega into square root of, see, I know what is 1 upon root mu 0 epsilon 0. It is what? Speed of light. So I will not use that. I will use root mu r epsilon r. So root mu r is 1, epsilon r is 78. So it will be just 78. And I will divide by 3 into 10 raised to 8. Okay. So what I get? Beta is 55.5 approximately. Right. So therefore, so I hope you understood root mu 0 epsilon 0 is 1 by 3 into 10 raised to 8. Okay. So beta is 55.492 radians per meter. Right. So this is asked, so I will square it. Right. So this is my phase constant. Next Vp. What is Vp? Omega by beta. Right. So 1.815 into 10 raised to 9. It is giga upon the answer. So it is already stored. So therefore Vp equal to, how much is it? 32.71 mega meters per second. So this is also asked, so I will square it. Then what will be lambda? V by f is the formula, right? So this divided by f, 300 into 10 raised to 6. So 0.109 meters. Wavelength as a unit of meters, right? So this is done, this is done. What is the intrinsic impedance? It is given as square root of mu by epsilon. I don't think I have given this formula. One formula is Ex by Hy. Other, you can also prove it as square root of mu by epsilon, right? So we know root mu 0 by root epsilon 0 is what? 377, right? So what we can say, 377 into root mu by r, mu r by epsilon r. So 1 by 78. So these are given. So how much it is? 48.6, 42.69. So therefore eta equal to 42.69. I am not writing the steps. You have to write the steps. Since it is impedance, unit is ohms. Right? So now what is given? Only the amplitude. E naught indicates amplitude of electromagnetic wave. Ex and Hy we have to find. Right? So how to find that? What we know the standard expression for E, right? But they have not given the wave propagation in which direction. Right? So we'll assume it. So you have to write in this way. So assuming the wave travels in z direction, what will be the expression for E? What they have asked? They have asked dx and hy in fact. So it implies that wave is obviously traveling in z direction, right? But we are assuming it is traveling in positive z direction, right? So what will be our Ex? Standard expression for forward traveling wave. So E naught cos of omega t minus beta z. So we have already seen this. If you don't know or you have forgotten, you just see the previous lectures. So E naught is given 0.1 cos of, what is omega? Omega is 2 pi f, right? So 885 into 10 raised to 9. So 1.885 into 10 raised to 9 t minus beta is 55.492. So 55.492 z, right? So this is our simple Ex field. So volts per meter, right? Then I have to find Hy. What is the expression? Eta is Ex by Hy. So I can find Hy from here. So Hy is Ex by eta. So 0.1 was this. So 0.1 by answer. So 2.34 milli. I'll write later. So this is same. So cos of 1.885 into 10 raised to 90 minus 55.492 z milli. Don't forget that unit is amperes per meter, right? So this is my Hy, right? So this is the way you have to solve this sum, right? So let's jump to the last sum for today. So I'll write it. It is a small question. So a media has following properties: mu r equal to 8, epsilon r equal to 2, sigma equal to 10 raised to minus 4 mho per meter, and frequency is 2 gigahertz. Find first attenuation constant. So it is denoted by alpha. So I am writing the denotations. And then attenuation constant in dB. This was a 10 marks question. Previous was also a 10 marks question. So all these are exam questions. Then find phase constant. Then propagation constant means gamma. Then wavelength. Then phase velocity. Then intrinsic impedance eta. Then refractive index n. Then loss tangent means tan delta. Then they have asked the question, as I said in the last lecture, they might ask you, is the medium behaving like conductor or dielectric, right? So 10 questions they have asked, each for 1 mark, right? So let's start about it. So how to do this? So again we need to find alpha. So what I said in the last lecture, if you remember, Don't worry about alpha and beta formulas. Just use that gamma formula which I had given. Right? So what is that gamma formula? Square root of j omega mu into sigma plus j omega epsilon. Okay, so this is my gamma, right? So just substitute those here, right? So we have all the things required. Do we? Yes, right? So but this is what square root of complex number, so we cannot find. So I'll write this, compute this without square root, and I'll go in complex mode. So I into omega is 2 pi into f is 2 gigahertz, so 2 into 10 raised to 9. So I'll use answer into sigma is 10 raised to minus 4 plus again I into omega, so 2 pi into 2 into 10 raised to 9 into epsilon. So epsilon is what? Epsilon 0 into epsilon r. So 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 into epsilon r, which is 2, right? So there is no need to close the bracket. Calci will automatically take it. So this is what my expression, which is under the square root, right? So then you write, therefore gamma equal to square root of, so let's see if in normal terms it is simple. So this way it is better. So if you want, you can write in a plus jb format or angle format. It is not a issue. So 27950722249 angle, I can take it safely to be 180 degree, right? So angle 180 degree, right? So now what I have to do? I have to find the square root of this. So how to do this? Do you have any idea? So if you write in R plus A plus JB format, what you do, you always write in angle format. Okay, so convert it to angle format. How to convert? So if I have 2 plus 3 I want to convert in angle format. So shift 2 3 equal to. So we'll get in angle format. So write that. So then what you want? Square root of this number. So what you do? You take the square root of this magnitude. So therefore gamma equal to square root of 27950722249 angle, and divide this angle by 2, 180 degree by 2. So this is your answer. Okay. So therefore gamma equal to, so what was it? 27950722249 square root of answer. Oops, I made a mistake. Mu 0 I have not multiplied, it seems, right? That's what I was thinking, how I get such a big number. J omega mu, yes, I have not multiplied mu. So I will do this. Here I have to use mu. Okay. This is I into 2 pi into f. So 2 into 10 raised to 9 into mu 0, 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. So if mu r is not given, we assume it to be 1. So this is correct. So shift to 3. Okay. So we'll not get this. So therefore gamma is square root of this quantity, right? So square root of 3512.3914 angle, again we can assume it safely to be 180 degree. So what is the step? Therefore gamma is square root of the magnitude. So square root of 3512 point what? 3914 angle 180 degree by 2. So square root of 3512.3914. So therefore gamma is 59.2654 angle 90 degree, right? So therefore gamma is what? Alpha plus j beta, right? So you type 59.2654 angle 90. So what to get? Only j beta. So you are not getting this alpha term, right? So that is the reason you should not approximate it. So what was the original value we were getting? 179.9742. So 179.9742. So you keep it. Okay. Similarly, you check it, change it here. So what will get? 179.9742 divided by 2. So you'll get 89.9871. So I'll tell you why this happens. So 59.2654 angle 89.9871. So now you get that alpha term, right? And this imaginary term is almost the same which we got, right? So you observe alpha term is very small because it is what? Alpha, attenuation constant, right? So attenuation is usually small at high frequencies. So that is why it is very small, right? So don't approximate this again. So that's what I wanted to show. 0.01334 plus 59.2654 J. And what is the unit? It is per meter. So now why we have this unit, that will come to know in transmission lines, right? So we have found out gamma. So this is alpha and this is beta, right? So we have found out what? Gamma, beta and alpha. So in dB what we do? So what is the unit? Also you have to write. So you will write alpha as unit Nepers per meter and beta has unit radians per meter, right? And we have to convert this to dB. So 1 Napier is given as 8.686 dB. Now if you have a question how is this converted, so that we'll see in transmission lines. So therefore alpha in dB equal to, so what we'll do, we'll multiply this by 8.686. so 0.01334 into 8.6686. So alpha in dB is 0.11. I can take it as 6 dB. Alright. So this is the attenuation. Okay. So we are done with alpha in dB. So next what we have to find? Lambda. So but for lambda we'll first require Vp. So let's find Vp. Right. So what is the formula for Vp? Vp is omega by beta. We have both the things. So Vp equal to, so omega is 2 pi f. So 2 pi into frequency is 2 into 10 raised to 9 given. And beta we have just found out. 59 point, obviously you don't have to take j. It is j beta. 59.2654. Correct? Yeah. So it is. So I'll go to normal mode now. So answer. So I can use this. So 2.12 into 10 raised to 8. Unit is what? Meters per second. Units carry marks again. So then we can find lambda. So lambda is Vp by f. So therefore lambda equal to this itself divided by 2 into 10 raised to 9. So lambda is 0.106. Usually lambda will be less than 0.4 or 0.5 meters. Usually as if. Okay. But we will not get a value like 100, 200 meters. That is obvious. Okay. Because f is very high in megahertz or gigahertz. Okay. So lambda and Vp both we have found out. So next eta. What is eta? Root mu by epsilon. So it is root mu 0 mu r by epsilon 0 epsilon r. So we know root mu 0 by epsilon 0 is 377. So 377 into root mu r is not given. So 1 epsilon r is 2. So 266.58. So therefore eta equal to 266.58 ohms. Okay. So then what we have to find? This is done. N. So n we saw it is what? Square root of epsilon r. Right? So root 2. So n is 1.414. Simple. Isn't it a very simple sum? And you have to find loss tangent. Right? So loss tangent denoted by tan delta. So what is the formula? Sigma upon omega epsilon 0 epsilon r. Right? So let's calculate this. Sigma is 10 raised to minus 4 upon omega 2 pi f, right? So 2 into 10 raised to 9 sigma upon omega हो गया. So into epsilon 0, 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 into epsilon r, which is 2. So to get 4.495 into 10 raised to minus 4. And you should know that tan delta will come out to be very small. It will be of the order of 10 raised to minus 3, 10 raised to minus 4 only. So 4.49 into 10 raised to minus 4. Okay, it has no unit. So tan delta. Now, is the medium behaving like dielectric or conductor? That's what I told at the start of the lecture while revision. Right? So where is that page? If sigma upon omega epsilon 0 epsilon r is very much greater than 1, it is conductor. If it is very much less than 1, it is dielectric. Right? So this is very much less than 1. So it is what? Dielectric. Okay. So usually it will be a dielectric in the numericals, but in the rarest of rare case, it can be a conductor if sigma is given very high. Okay. So we have found out all the terms, right? Yeah. We are done with this also, right?